Let me read to you a passage from the 5th chapter of St. Luke's Gospel, verses 1 to 11. It's the Gospel for Thursday of the 22nd week in Ordinary Time, Year 2. St. Luke writes, "One day, as Jesus was standing by the lake of Gennesaret, with the people crowding round him and listening to the word of God, he saw at the water's edge 2 boats, left there by the fishermen, who were washing their nets. He got into one of the boats, the one belonging to Simon, and asked him to put out a little from the shore. Then he sat down and taught the people from the boat. When he had finished speaking, he said to Simon, 'Put out into deep water, and let down the nets for a catch.' Simon answered, 'Master, we've worked hard all night long, and haven't caught anything. But because you say so, I will let down the nets.' When they had done so, they caught such a large number of fish that their nets began to break. So they signaled to their partners in the other boat to come and help them. And they came and filled both boats so full that they began to sink. When Simon Peter saw this, he fell at Jesus' knees and said, 'Go away from me, Lord, I am a sinful man.' For he and all his companions were astonished at the catch of fish they had taken, and so were James and John, the sons of Zebedee, Simon's partners. Then Jesus said to Simon, 'Don't be afraid. From now on you will catch men.' So they pulled their boats up on the shore, left everything, and followed him." That's from Luke chapter 5, verses 1 to 11. And what does it suggest to us? Well, one of the great questions that has occupied the minds of many scholars in the past century has been the question of the essence of Christianity. Christianity has had numerous forms, but what, they have asked, is its essence? Well, of course, this is not the time to deal with such a question, except to discuss a feature of the Christian religion which must be regarded as of its essence. I refer to its missionary dynamism. At the essence of the Christian religion, there is a profound impulse to spread, and to spread universally. Other religions have spread, and some have spread widely. Islam and Buddhism, for instance, can be found in numerous countries, but a case can be made for considering each of these as having spread because of the spread of particular cultures with which they have been identified. This, of course, is a factor in the spread of Christianity too, but from the beginning, Christ intended that faith in him be universal. It is a source of constant inspiration that before he ascended into heaven, he charged his disciples to go to the whole world and make disciples of all the nations. Their love for and following of him involved a strenuous effort to bring all others to faith in him. And we see the beginnings of this in our gospel passage today. We read, and I quote, that when Jesus had finished speaking, he said to Simon, "Put out into deep water, and let down the nets for a catch." Simon answered, "Master, we've worked hard all night long, and haven't caught anything. But because you say so, I will let down the nets." When he had done so, they caught such a large number of fish that their nets began to break. So they signaled to their partners in the other boat to come and help them. And they came and filled both boats so full that they began to sink. This miracle was a sign of the vocation to which Christ was about to call them. And we read, "Then Jesus said to Simon, 'Don't be afraid. From now on, you will catch men.' So they pulled their boats up on the shore, left everything and followed him. They were to follow him and bring all others to follow him too. Let us make a few observations about this calling issued to Simon and the other disciples. They were ordinary men, and indeed they knew they were sinners. "Leave me, Lord, for I am a sinful man, Simon could not help but say. So too do all genuine disciples of Christ say this. Nevertheless, they have the high calling of sharing in the mission of the Master, which is to bring him to all, and to bring all to him. In other words, to be fishers of men. Furthermore, it was by the power of Christ that Simon made his catch of fish, and it was a striking act of divine power. So too in the life of the church, it is by the power of Christ that the church and her members strive to bring others to Jesus, and it is by his grace that their efforts bear fruit. If they spend the whole night, as it were, catching nothing, yet they will hope, knowing that it is Christ, the living Jesus, who is working with them. They are not seeking fish, but men and women who have free wills and who are burdened by sin. Grace must penetrate the hearts of fallen men before there is a turning to God. But Christ is at work in the life and mission of the church, and the time will come for the catch. The great protagonist in the life of the church is Christ himself, and this gives to the church's members faith and hope. Hence, they must have faith and hope, showing itself in love, a love that works for the salvation of souls. And there is this further point. The ordinariness of Simon and his friends, who left all to follow Jesus, reminds us of the importance of the ordinary Christian in the mission of the church. The ordinary person plays an indispensable role in the redemptive mission of the church, because where he is, no one else is to do the work of Christ. It is in his family, at his workplace, among his acquaintances, that the work of the church bringing others to Christ is effected. If he does not do it, no one will. It is to the ordinary member of Christ's faithful that Christ says in all seriousness, "From now on, you will catch men." Let us place ourselves in the company of Simon Peter. His successor leads Christ's church in following Christ and in seeking to bring all others into contact with him. Essential to the work of the entire church and to the calling of each and all of her members is the mission to catch men, to catch them for Christ. It is Christ who, through his members, is striving to catch them, all men and women, catch them from the forces of evil and sin, catch them for life everlasting, catch them from the fires of hell, and thus bring them all to an eternity of joy with him and in him.